Hi everyone, we are live here at WOW, and I am with our WOW Council member, Tony Babcock. I'm with a famous person right now. Tony is a speaker, actor, writer, and everything else. So, Tony, why don't you give us a little bit of introduction who you are and what you do?
Thank you so much, Kelly, for bringing me on. Hi, everyone. So my name is Tony, as Kelly said. I don't know about the famous thing. I think maybe somewhat. I am a professional actor, speaker, coach, facilitator, and I've been working in the online and in-person space for, oh my gosh, 30 plus years. I help high achievers, essentially, professional business professionals, entrepreneurs, artists, and I sort of blend interactive sessions with sort of education, entertainment, and help clients to uncover like quick, tangible, actionable tips, techniques, strategies so that they're not nervous anymore and instead they're confident and they
Mhm.
embrace a new set of beliefs and skills to help them to own that room that they're in, whatever that looks like, closing the deal, giving the presentation, having the difficult conversation, and ultimately what I call owning their spotlight.
Tony and I have worked together in the corporate wellness space, and that's why I thought of him to be part of this council where we are going to be the go to authority. That's our goal for leadership, communication, connection, mind and body, or
Mm.
holistic wellness in the workplace, and how that looks like and how to engage employees. And I can tell you that Tony is like a top, like a favorite of my clients because he does engaging exercises and very insightful information and education, like I said, especially when it's, you know, live and also in virtual setting. And that's
Yeah.
how we came up with Well at Work, LIVE or live. It's a live interactive virtual event. And it's basically a webinar, but more fun, right?
Oh
So,
yeah. Yeah,
Tony,
we take it to the next level. Webinar
yes,
to the next level.
yes. So we know the importance of in-person meeting, but we also know the limitations of that, and especially if
Mm.
you have a big organization and you can't bring people in one place due to cost, time, etc. So the live is our way of bringing that wellness education to all of your employees, so that makes it more accessible and for everyone, right? Tony, what is your favorite part of corporate wellness? I know you do a lot of talks, right? But why is this important for you?
So many reasons. I have, as you said, I've worked with corporate for years and everyone from Microsoft, Doctors Without Borders, some of the largest companies. And there's something that I notice as a pattern in all these teams that I work with, and that is that if each individual doesn't feel empowered to step fully into who they are, if they don't feel like they've got their wellness at peak point, then the whole team suffers, and then the company suffers, and the bottom line suffers. So part of what I love doing is by using interactive techniques and exercises and elements, there's this really roundabout way of getting people to engage, not only in enrolling in themselves and their own ideas, but also engage with the team in a new way. And I love that. I love leading exercises and having people go, oh, whoa, I just learned something. I didn't even realize I learned something because I was so immersed in it. And so I'm always looking at working with teams in a way that it's not just a PowerPoint that they're going to fall asleep by the third slide.
Mhm.
It's like an actual interactive, engaging session that's going to stay with them for years to come and have a huge impact.
Right. And in your experience working with these big companies, what do you see is the great, you talk about impact. Can you tell us more about that and what that looks like when
Absolutely.
implementing something like an employee engagement or a leadership training? I'm talking about making connection and engaging and taking care of the
Yeah.
people basically, and how that impacts the bottom line. I want you to talk a little bit more about that and give us a clear picture.
Of course. So I actually have and you know this, Kelly, but I have sort of a framework that I follow for this that's been really, really helpful in terms of the impact, to your point, the impact that this has. And I call it the ACT framework, ACT. A lot of what I do comes from my world as an actor and learning originally as an actor. And so the A is about activating engagement. So the idea here is like the vibe, right? What's the vibe of each person, of the mission that the company is is moving along, getting out of the idea of sort of these very traditional, let's say, in the box thinking that a lot of teams default to, and then they
Mm-hmm.
wonder, why are we not moving forward, why are we not able to innovate as quickly as other teams? And so
Right.
this idea of activating engagement, this idea that there's a way to actually activate engagement, not just internally with the team, but like with your clients and your audience and your networks, I think is really, really key. And so we talk a lot about connection point and knowing that, like, in the world today, we've got to prioritize human interaction more than ever because it's the
Absolutely.
world of AI, right? And interaction is still what we crave, real, genuine interaction and connection. So that's the A about
Mm-hmm.
activating the engagement. The C is about a cultural shift. So this is like the ROI stuff, right? The return on your investment.
Wow.
So we hear this all the time, right? The talk about the importance of the culture, team culture, company culture. The core of this, I discovered this a number of years ago from my experience as an improviser. The core of the cultural shift is the idea of the yes and that you might have heard of from the
Mm-hmm.
world of improv. So the idea here is that we are sort of, as humans with very overactive brains, we're sort of designed to stay safe. So we kind of
Yeah.
default to saying no, to shutting down ideas, to being afraid to kind of venture into someone else's world. And so when we can adopt a new culture of yes and this idea of like being open to other perspectives, I think this can really have a huge impact, not just on the efficiency of a team, but to your point, the wellness of a team as well. Because a team is, I look at a team as an organism, right? Like it is, everyone is part of the same sort of machine, if you will. And if even one part is not working, the whole
Mm-hmm.
machine breaks down. So that's really, really key. Building that like psychological safety, I would say, for everyone.
That's very important. And the
And then
tea,
the T, yeah, the T. So the T is for Tony.
spill
I'm
the
just kidding.
tea.
We're going to spill the tea. The T is for talent transformation. So, this is really about understanding that every single member of your company has a zone of genius, has a talent, has a
Mm-hmm.
skill set, a combination of skill set, viewpoint, aptitude that can be really incredibly powerful if it's leveraged. But a lot of teams, like, and you know this too, Kelly, we've worked with teams for so many years. A lot of teams are underutilizing a lot of their members, their team members. And
Or
so,
they are in the wrong position, right?
right. Yeah, they're not being used to their best skills. They're not in the right position. And so we have this team with all this potential, but no
Right.
one's sort of fully sitting into their best selves. So I call this your main character energy. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
us are going around life being like extras or background characters in our own lives. And my whole thing is empowering you to be the main character, and all of your team members have to be that main character in their own life. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure that we are coming at this with a sense of everyone is owning the room based on what they can contribute. And you start to, and I have a team in my business as well, and I always want to ask my team questions like, what
Mm-hmm.
most creative way to do this? I want to ask questions that are going to empower creative thinking. I want to ask them things like, what am I missing? Can you
Mm-hmm.
see something in an angle that I'm not seeing right now? And I think as we ask more of these types of questions, then what we're doing is we're allowing our team members to have a transformation by stepping fully into their talents. And I think that like that's the power of team. And in the world today, especially, thank goodness we're past the time of like I'm the boss and you all answer to
Mm-hmm.
me. Obviously, some companies are in the past on that, but I think we're getting to a point where we do want collaborative workspaces. We do want
Right.
people to feel taken care of. And I think the more you can take care of your team and empower them and ask questions and make sure that they're in the spotlight, the
Mm.
more you're going to find your whole company grows and flourishes.
Wow, Tony, you've given us so much wisdom today. So act now. Speaking of the main character energy. Tony will be in our Wellness at Work Summit in San Diego. He's flying from Toronto for this, and you will be delivering a talk about this, around this, and it will be an improv style, correct? Can you
Yes,
tell us a little bit more in 2 minutes? What can they expect and why they should come to the summit?
I love it. As soon as people hear improv in the corporate world, they're like, right. And it's so
Yay!
funny because it doesn't have to be scary. It is definitely going to be infused with improv. I think the main thing we have to realize is that we're all improvising every single day. It is
Mm-hmm.
actually a skill set that you can learn and harness and nurture. Just a little, self promotion plug for a second. In the
Sure.
last few years, I had the amazing opportunity on a few occasions to work with Colin Mockery, who's one of my idols. And we've done some projects together, had a chance to really talk to him deeply. We both obviously have improv experience. And what's so interesting is that I noticed that he just has such a presence about him. And to me, it's like, I understand why he continues to have success. And it's because improv has really taught him how to connect so deeply with other people. And that is the skill to be present in the moment, connecting with others. That is the number one skill. So the more we can actually like get out of our comfort zone a little bit and have some fun and come back to our childlike joy, the more we can see how that transfers to the work we do. And that's what we're going to be focusing on in a way that's not scary. I promise you will love it. It's very approachable. It's not, you don't have to make jokes. You don't have to be an actor, but you're going to find a whole new doorway, let's say, into the type of success that you want to be having in your
You're going to
life
be
and
a
otherwise.
better leader when you attend
Better
this
leader, better
summit.
speaker, better communicator.
So why don't you invite us to the summit and to your event afterwards? After
Absolutely.
that, yeah. So Friday is our event, March 20th at Kiln Rancho Bernardo, and tell us a little bit more about what you're gonna do after the summit.
Yeah, so immediately after the summit on the Saturday, Sunday, first 22nd, that's why Kelly's here for me in these moments. You can join me for the in-person spotlight experience, where we're going to be zeroing in on helping you be that main character of your own life. We're putting together, my team and I are putting together an experience that can only be described as a cross between an interactive summit, a live concert, a Broadway show, and like a immersive experience, like you're on a ride at Disney World. So it's kind of like
Oh
we've
my
put together this really cool experience over the 2 days. It comes with your hotel stay, comes with meals, everything is included. You just got to get yourself into San Diego. And if you're already with us at the summit on the Friday, then you can stay for an extra 2 days and get into your spotlight.
Awesome. And I have an amazing affiliate code with 30% discount on that. So I will drop the link or email you or DM me and I can send you the link to our event. And it's basically a 3-day event and you will be very grateful that you attend this and with the one and only Tony Babcock. So thank you so much, Tony, for joining us today. Where can they reach you if they want to get in touch?
Yep. So you can find me on all the socials under Tony Babcock, or you can visit spotlightconfidence.com to find out everything about me and my company, the Spotlight Confidence Center.
Thank you. And this is Kelly, Happy Me Yoga. You can message me or email me for more information. Take care and be well.
Bye.